So let's review. If Spark is the Wi-Fi, and thought is the apps or search engine, and consciousness is the device, then who is creating what appears on the screen? You are, through your thinking. That's right. Everything you think, you feel, and everything you feel, you experience. The good, the bad, and the ugly. If you're in charge of the way you experience your life, then why isn't it everything you thought it would be all of the time? Sunshine, rainbows, happiness. Well, that's because we were created to be thinkers, and sometimes thinking can get us a little bit lost. What can we do if we start to feel a little lost? Well, let's think of it again like technology. So, what happens when you have your phone and you put tons and tons of apps on it? Eventually it runs out of storage and you can't put any more on. But if you just let a few apps go, then there's room for new ones. Well, thoughts are just like that. There's always a ton of them coming and going. Sometimes you may feel a little more overwhelmed with them, but if you just let a few go, the new ones will come in and give you a whole new experience. And just like apps, if you're in one and you really don't like the way it's making you feel, you don't really like the app at all, what can you do? Well, you can just hit the home button on your screen. And what does it always do? It takes you right back to home. That's how our thoughts are. Your spark is your home. You just have to let some of those thoughts come in and go out, and then you can always return home with your spark. In order to understand how our thoughts truly create our experience, let's go ahead and start with what usually people think of when they think of their experience of life. Usually people think that something happens and that causes them to have a feeling, and then that feeling gives them a behavior, and then it gives them a result. And because of that result, they get another feeling, they get another behavior, and they get another result. And it just keeps going around and around. But what most people don't know is that it actually first has to start with a thought. You can't feel anything until you have a thought about it first. Then, once you start thinking about it, it gives you a feeling. And then that feeling can possibly go into a behavior that can give you a result. But it's like a thought chain. A chain can always be broken. So, let's think of an example of this. Say you and your best friend get in a fight, and the next morning you wake up, look at your phone, and you see that they posted something that says, "So annoyed." Well, a thought immediately pops in that they posted that about you. If you keep thinking about this, you might get a feeling of anger. Maybe you're so upset. You can't believe that they would post something like that about you. Well, that feeling can lead into a behavior. You get to school, you're feeling so mad and so upset and so angry that you start screaming at her. And you get in a big argument with her, a big fight. Your result can be that you're suspended from school. Or even worse, you lose your best friend. However, understanding how thoughts work, you can change that. It can be a chain that can be broken at any point. So, yes, if you have a thought that they posted that about you, and you start thinking about it, you will get a feeling. And maybe it's not such a great feeling, but if you understand the way it works, you can stop it right there. You can just let that thought go and realize maybe it's not about me. Or even if it is, who cares? If you let that go, then you don't have to go any further than that. A new thought can pop in, and it could be about how your best friend usually is a wonderful person, and you guys have great things that you do together. And then your feeling can be happy. So it just all depends on whatever thought you start thinking about, and that gives you that feeling. Now that we understand our feelings are coming from a thought, let's understand our feelings. They're a really good indication of our thinking. They can kind of help us understand if maybe we have tons and tons of thinking going on that needs to be cleared. Bad feelings are usually a sign to step back and clear your mind. New thoughts will always come in and bring a new feeling. Understanding our feelings is vital to our well-being. Another thing we can do is understand our spark. No one is ever broken. Your spark is always there. Everyone can find their inner brilliance and achieve amazing things. We were all born with a spark inside, giving us the capability to be successful. It can never be stolen, ruined, or taken away from you. Sometimes it may feel like it's a little covered up, but it's just one thought away. So, what do you say? Let's find your spark.